So when we look at Intercloud Fabric and we're thinking about how it operates, it helps to have a good level set of the core components. So the deployment process of putting a new virtual machine into the cloud is something that requires a number of different things to work in concert. So here we've got our typical example of two clouds. I've got my private cloud on the left, and I've got my provider cloud on the right. The connectivity occurs between these two components, but there is a set of software that's going to be sitting in the provider side that's going to allow you to be able to integrate Intercloud into it. Now, there is a variant that you can load that it does not require the provider platform, which is one that an Intercloud partner would have, and it does allow you to be able to load this into other environments. So you don't have to have just the Intercloud Fabric provider to be able to do this, but you get benefits associated with it. It's a more native integration. But once you have that piece provided, the provider aspect of it is where you're going to ultimately have your virtual machine in the public cloud. On the private side, you've got a number of different components. You've got the Intercloud Fabric Director. This is the component that's really going to do all of the heavy lifting and management. You also have the Virtual Machine Manager. This is your hypervisor. This is Microsoft's Hyper-V, or it's VMware's ESX server. You're going to have some virtual machines you're going to have in there, and then you're going to have your private cloud services. This is your firewalling, your routing, and other services you would want to have. What we're able to do with Intercloud Fabric is to be able to really create a connection into that private cloud, or the private cloud to the public cloud. So we're able to create a secure tunnel that is connected between the private cloud environment and the provider's environment. And then that allows you to be able to deploy those same services, firewalling, routing functions, any type of capability that you would normally have within your private data center, you can now instantiate in the public cloud. So this is going to allow you to be able to deploy those different functions, and then it creates what we call the ICF bubble, which allows you to be able to cryptographically tie all these components together. Because the capabilities that we have within Intercloud Fabric allows you to be able to create a layer 2 tunnel between your data center, your private data center, and the public cloud, and you actually have cryptographic connections between your virtual machines using an ICF agent, which is really like a network interface that loads on the virtual machines in the public cloud, and it connects to the Intercloud extender, which is that switch that's a virtual switch that's going to be sitting there in the provider's cloud. That is what creates that bubble environment here, giving you a very secure environment, allowing you to be able to extend your policy and your requirements for compliance and any other types of issues you may have to be able to ensure that you have taken care of. You can now provide that with a public cloud environment. So that's how the solution works. And again, as you start to think about how you'll move a VM from one to the other, or how you instantiate in there, in the next lesson we'll actually cover instantiating a VM in the provider cloud. So you get to see it in action.